Hi, this video will be a scene analysis on the 2012 movie Django, a Quentin Tarantino film. It will cover plot, subplot, and lighting. First, plot. This movie takes place in 1858 during slavery. We are first introduced to Dr. Schultz, a former dentist turned bounty hunter. While the doctor is traveling, he is looking for a certain slave who is Django. Django has the knowledge of where the doctor's bounties, the Brittle brothers, John, Ellis, and Raj, is located. He proceeds to buy Django's freedom, but before he does that, he kills one of the people escorting Django. Once that is finished, he proceeds to head into town to his next bounty. Once he's encountered his bounty, he shoots the sheriff dead in the street. What happens next is the marshal comes onto the scene, asking questions on why he shot the sheriff dead in the street. The doctor proceeds to tell him that he is a bounty hunter and there was a bounty on the sheriff's head, dead or alive. Once he explains that, the marshal sets him free. After this, they proceed to head where the Brittle brothers are. They come up with a plan, which is to have a persona to infiltrate the plantation. Once they get there, Django heads off questioning one of the slaves to find out who is the Brittle brothers and where they are. Once he identifies each one, they are killed. Once again, they have to deal with the plantation owner and tell them why they just shot and killed 3 men. After this, they talk to each other, and Django tells him that he wants to save his wife. His wife is still on his mind, and he wants to free her. After this, there's a montage of Django getting better while shooting and collecting bounties. After this, they find a location of Django's wife. They come up with a plan to try and save her, which is by deceiving the owner, Calvin Candy, which is played by Leonardo DiCaprio, by wanting to purchase one of his slaves for fighting. I think it was called the Mandingo business. By doing this, the doctor grabs his attention by offering $12,000 for one of his best slaves. It interests Calvin to go on with this offer. They ride to his plantation to have dinner, but before that, they run into a runaway slave, which Calvin proceeds to deal with in his own way, while Django, the other slaves, and the doctor have to look upon him getting eaten by the dogs. After this, they go to his plantation and have dinner to discuss his transaction of which slave he wants to purchase. During this, they find Django's wife. However, one of the house slaves, played by Samuel L. Jackson himself, gets suspicious and calls him out. He tells Calvin what the doctor and Django really came to his plantation for. Upon knowing, Calvin forces them to pay up front, leaving a bad taste in the doctor's mouth, in which he proceeds to kill Calvin, and a shootout happens. During the shootout, a lot of people died, leaving Django having to surrender. Once he does, Steven, which is played by Samuel L. Jackson, tells him he is going to be shipped off. While Django is heading to the mining company, he comes up with a plan by deceiving the 3 escorts by telling them there is a bounty left on Candyland. Once the 3 escorts learn that Django isn't lying and is telling the truth, they agree to help Django. Once Django has their trust, he shoots all 3 of the men and heads back to Candyland to save his wife. During this, he kills everyone in the house except for 2 slaves, but he kills Steven in the process due to the fact that he does not like him. After that, he rides off with his wife and they live happily ever after. The lighting in Django played a really key part in the overall action and flow of the movie. I feel as though the scenes where they're inside the home using warm lighting really helped the scenes flow. It's especially during some of the hardcore fighting scenes and close-up shots where in one scene they're placed at a table, or they're still at the dinner table, and this is when Calvin figures out their plan or their true intentions due to Steven telling them what they really came here for.